Oh yeah, oh yeah. Wow, what an historic day.
Oh my God.
Incredible. Really incredible.
We're sending Plucky
Yeah.
to El Salvador.
Really?
And we're going to sacrifice him. We're going to throw him straight into the volcano.
Plucky into the volcano.
No, don't throw me into the volcano! Max, save me from this crazy Stacy!
Why would you do that to Plucky? Why?
You know, I read these comments. I know what you're doing out there. I know they're doing a drinking game every time I put my glasses on.
Is that true?
Yeah. And they think it's funny.
Well, I got a new phone a few days ago. This new phone. See, it's orange. Actually, Stacy got that for me. Thank you, Stacy.
I got it for you. Hey, what do you think of the idea of we all journey, take an Orange Pill podcast A380 jumbo jet piloted by Tish, and we're going to El Salvador, and we're going to throw Plucky into the biggest of their 20 active volcanoes.
Oh, don't do it! Why the sacrificial Plucky? Why me?
Oh, well, Plucky, somebody has to be sacrificed.
Oh, put me back in my cage.
Okay, that's enough from you,
Max,
Plucky.
Don't choke the chicken on the show.
I don't want to choke my chicken on this show. That would demonetize us instantaneously.
Exactly.
And get the keyboard all sticky.
That's gross.
True.
So, breaking: El Salvador has officially passed the bill that makes Bitcoin legal tender in the country, the first in the world. President of El Salvador said, quote, cheap and clean volcano energy to be used for Bitcoin mining.
The hits keep coming. Right. So, Nic Carter was on his Twitter last night, and at around 9:30 or 10 or so, he was saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to stay up, and I'm going to try to translate the bill when it's in session in El Salvador. My Spanish is a little rusty, but I'll see what I can do. Then I went to sleep. Then I woke up like 7 hours later, and it was like the historic moon landing of Bitcoin on the volcanic ash of El Salvador, and I slept through the whole thing.
I know. I feel like a giant cuck, because I feel like, Glenn DM'd me and he's like, hey, you got to listen to this Nic Carter call. It's amazing. And I jumped on at around 10 to 11 p.m., here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And, I stayed up extra. I was about to go to sleep, and I was like listening to it, and I listened to Kate Long, and I listened to Nick and a few people talking, and Pomp was on the call, and I was like falling asleep, drifting off. So I was like, I have to shut it. I have to get my sleep. And I went to bed at 11:30, turned it off. And lo and behold, like, I missed history in the making, but I could say I was almost there.
Yeah. We were like, almost there. You were closer than I was. I was asleep already well into that. I woke up and it's, oh my God. So they signed the bill, El Salvador, and on the Wikipedia page already, it says the currency of El Salvador is Bitcoin.
Oh my God.
It's already been updated. And then secondarily, the US dollar. Then they made the announcement on the call last night. Apparently, the president was speculating that, maybe we can mine Bitcoin using our volcanic energy. And sure enough, today he already is putting in motion this idea. He's instructed the state utility company to begin retrofitting or doing what they need to do to start Bitcoin mining. The GDP of this country is pretty small, so any mining, there's $2 billion a year in mining profits. And any capture of that would immediately boost their GDP. Plus, the remittance market capture is going to boost their GDP significantly. So the El Salvadorian economy is going to double its GDP in the next two years, probably 2 or 3 years. And think of the ripple effect that's going to have throughout the entire country. And now the whole region is going to figure that out and say, oh, my God, we should get in on this. At the same time, we've got the vice president of the United States, Kamala Harris, in Guatemala, talking about, well, do we let people over the border? We don't let people over the border. What's our policy? Is it this policy? We need to address the root causes of the immigration. the root cause of the immigration is fiat money. The root cause is the U.S. dollar. The root cause is the Federal Reserve Bank. And as Jack Mallers has been saying on CNBC and other outlets, it's a response to all the money printing, right? So the journalists are trying to corner him and say, hey, are you worried that you're in some way supporting a country's political establishment that may not be entirely down with America's view of how the world should work? And, he was saying, look, but the question is, are you comfortable with what's happening at the Federal Reserve? And, basically pushed it right back at them. And the answer is, this revolution's happening.
The revolution is happening. The quote, the tweet that Max was talking about that Nayib Bukele sent out was, I've just instructed the president of La Geo SAV, our state-owned geothermal electric company, to put up a plan to offer facilities for Bitcoin mining with very cheap, 100% clean, 100% renewable, zero emissions energy from our volcanoes. This is going to evolve fast. And he even included a photo of the facility. So I guess it's sitting on top of a volcano, capturing some of that geothermal energy under there. I wonder if they have any geysers or geysers, as they call them in the UK.
Right. Well, it works in Iceland. We know geothermal, was powered Gemini mining in Iceland. Genesis. They've been around for a long, long time and highly profitable. And so we know that it works. One thing the president says, how do you pronounce his name again?
It is, let's see, Nayib Bukele. Bukele.
Nayib Bukele. Nayib Bukele. So the president, Nayib Bukele, one thing that he has said several times, which I picked up on, it's really interesting. He talks about the wonder of childhood and why do we lose it? Why do we lose that wonder that we have as children? And this is a very philosophical and profound thing to say, really. And he's a pretty new president, and he's in a smallish country, and the country is part of certainly political tensions in that region in terms of immigration and other issues. And he's asking a very fundamental question about life for all humans all over the world. What happens to our childish wonder? Now, what I've said about Bitcoin is that when I've observed from my perch as a boomer in my 60s, and I see the millennials and the Gen Z, what I see is a potential for those generations to continue into adulthood without having to become cynical. Every generation becomes cynical. The boomers, certainly, because the burdens of responsibility in an unjust world that's going through an environmental holocaust, and it really breeds a lot of cynicism. And so I thought, these millennials and Gen Z, they may actually be under a Bitcoin standard. They may just go from the optimistic 20s right into like their entire lives could be riding this Bitcoin wave. Surfing is a big meme in the Bitcoin community. It could be the meme. And Jack Mallers is still in his 20s. And to think, imagine if he can ride this for 30, 40 years and just watch the world go up. Apparently, they're back ordered at Strike. He's got a service called Bitcoin for Countries, and they are back ordered. They've got people calling him up from all over the world now, curious about this. So and it's so predictable, and it's so ridiculous to see the mainstream media. Either they're not reacting at all, or their takes are lame. Right. So we're still very, very early. And I still hold to 220,000 per coin in 2021 as a target.
Right. Let me see. Here's my strike. I got a blue check sort of thing on my strike.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And my name is Orange Shoe.
Okay. The Orange Shoe.
Yeah. See, this is when I first started this. Strike.me/orange shoe. If you want to send me some sats.
Yes, every time Stacy puts on her glasses, send her some Sats. Don't drink. Send Stacy Sats.
El Salvador is it to be the next Florence? Of course, that's the wonderment of Renaissance 2.0. Like a child, I mean, if you think of Renaissance 1.0, it was also the age of discovery, the age of questioning. Of course, if you've ever been around little kids, they just nonstop question. Why? What is this? What is this? What is that? Who is this? Why? Everything is like that.
Yep, and they had the florin, which was the hardest money ever up until that time. The gold florin in the Medici Bank. And so Bitcoin is the florin of the 21st century. And we've been saying on this show, the Orange Pill, trying to play this guessing game, which country will adopt Bitcoin first. And the names bandied about have been, Japan, Iran, a couple of others, Jamaica, I forget why.
Switzerland.
I don't, nobody mentioned El Salvador to my knowledge, but we did feel at 100% certainty that some country was going to pull the trigger. And I think in Daniela Cambone's interview I did in January, I said in 2021 that a country will adopt Bitcoin as its standard. So, that a lot of people were kind of inching toward this idea. And it just makes so much sense. And the Strike product is a great product.
Thank you for whoever sent me $4.20. I'm assuming it's you, Elon, and I know you've been watching all our shows, getting ready for us to do the Fuck Elon tour, coming to Austin soon. So I'm just assuming, Elon has a real lust and a giggly, childish lust. Speaking of child, for this number 420. So
yeah.
So it could be him, like taunting us. I love a volcano. Of course, now it's this news from El Salvador and what Naib just said is just great news for the meme artists. #free yellow. Yellow needs to be there. Yellow will probably go with us to El Salvador to sacrifice Plucky.
Well, I thought you were going to say you were going to sacrifice Yellow into the volcano because he's off Twitter, so he's done.
Oh my God!
He doesn't really have any purpose anymore.
Don't make him cry.
But, I think as a sacrifice to the volcano, he would, leave a legacy to be proud of.
Oh my God! Poor Yellow is probably crying there.
The memes will last forever.
Oh my God!
You don't need your flesh and blood. The memes are immortal.
Let me see. Poor Yellow. How metal is? Yellow hasn't seen the news yet. I'm sure he's
Really?
He's going to be shocked to hear that he's going to be sacrificed. Yellow.
Not Plucky. Plucky is, a vital part of this show.
I did not know.
Yeah.
I did not know you considered him so vital to the show.
Yeah.
This is
he's the world's best, foremost economist.
Okay, so if we get to 500 likes,
yeah, then what happens?
We will sacrifice Yellow. If we get to 750, we will sacrifice Plucky.
No, Plucky is off limits.
Jeez, you're so protective of Plucky.
I don't want Plucky. Leave Plucky alone. Yeah, so we're going to be in Austin, Texas in the first week. No, we're not sure. Definitely in July.
First 2 weeks.
Yeah, first 2 weeks of July. We're looking to book a venue right now. If you go to my Twitter, I've got 6 possible venues that we're looking at, suggested possible venues. This is the Fuck Elon North American tour of Max Kaiser and Stacy Herbert. And so we're taking the energy from Miami 2021, the Bitcoin conference, and we're kind of carrying it forward to this event, because when I left the event in Miami, I'm like, wow, when's the next event? And I looked at the calendar and there's like nothing on there that looks anywhere near as exciting. And so we're just going to have to create our own in the way the Bitcoiners just create their own stuff. So going to create a night of mayhem in Austin. It's going to be the Fuck Elon tour, Max Kaiser, and hopefully some special guests.
Yeah, we'll have some special guests. We should bring a little volcano kit and throw some Elon Musk toys into it. Sacrifice. He sacrificed it. I just also saw that, I used to have on my Strike thing, I was Orange Shoe.
Yeah.
And I used to have like a star, like to say that I was verified, and
Now
now
it's
I don't.
gone?
Now it's gone.
Great. Well, you've been unverified.
I think my verification was like sacrificed to the volcano. I think that's what Jack did. But maybe I do realize like they might, they might have maybe thought it was a fake because I'd never used it because I was always using like
Well, I
Swan or
think
something.
also you started it in the beta of the product. And so a lot of times when they go from beta to
Oh.
mainnet or whatever, everything gets scrubbed. Lots of stuff gets scrubbed. And then they just didn't install it.
It's not because like Jack is always on CNBC or Bloomberg these days, and he's
I
like,
know. I think actually it was an alpha. It was an alpha, and I think now it's in beta. Actually, beta. But nevertheless, a lot of the data that they carry on users gets scrubbed because they have some test net, whatever. So
okay, well, I'll accept that as an excuse.
yeah.
And thank you, Eastside Tony, for sending me some sats. That's
Eastside
awfully sweet
Tony.
of you. Yeah.
Yeah. I retweeted Eastside Tony a couple of times today. He's got some good tweets. I like his meme game is on point.
Eastside.
Eastside Tony. It's Tony. Probably, I can just imagine what Eastside Tony is all about. You see, bump into him. Hey, Eastside Tony, what happening, man? What's up? What's going on?
But today also what's his name? Oh, Joe Biden. He's the president of the United States. And he got on a plane. First, it was like the press plane following him was delayed because of all the cicadas. But, it's like traveling to the UK and there's going to be this G7 meeting and they think they're like, they control everything. And they're like, hey, we're going to meet in this like cabal of guys who is going to determine what happens for what everybody else in the world has to do, like from taxes to all sorts of stuff. And they think that they control us.
Yep.
And then you look at what happened last night, and Nic Carter is, cooking up some pork chops.
Yep.
And decides to do a Spaces thing during it, and the head of a state of a tiny country, not worthy of the gods of the G7, right? That get to determine everybody's fate. That they are irrelevant. Like, who cares about the G7? Who cares about the G20? Everything is happening in the Bitcoin community on Spaces while cooking keto, cooking pork chops, cooking your steak, cooking your keto cake.
Yeah, I mean, like Nic Carter or American Hodl or Marty Bent or, I can name 30 people, Jack Mahlers. They have no reason to be cynical. Like Nic Carter, he's just being very straightforward, and he's communicating directly without any layer of cynicism. If you read the New York Times or the Washington Post, the cynicism just drips off the page.
Yes.
And it's ornate and it's Baroque and it's parenthetical and it's from Harvard, Yale, and Princeton, and it's from the madrasas of the American financial terrorist community. And there's pure propaganda and disgusting. And then, like the president of El Salvador is saying, there is a childlike honesty that, why do we lose it? Why do we have to trade it off? Why do we have to give it away to enter the cynical world? And Bitcoin is saying we don't. We just plug this fucking ant miner into this volcano and we create the hardest money ever, perfect price discovery, and love, like the volcano, explodes into our conscious mind from our unconscious mind where it's been hiding.
We don't need these cantillionaires anymore. No. We just don't need them. And I think it's really dawning on people. And, I want to cover next week, we're going to cover this story with these cantillionaires and, that whole oligarchy and neo-feudalism that we've been talking about. In China, all the youth are also picking up on this, and they have a lie flat movement. So
I saw that. Yeah, what is it?
They just they won't get out of bed for any work. Their number is like even higher than Christy Turlington, who used to be a supermodel back in Gen X days, just so you know. But they just lie flat. They'd rather stay in bed than go into the rat race, because their argument is that they interviewed one guy who is like 30, and he really, really studied hard, and he went to one of the best universities there. And then he realized that it was just like party officials, the children of party officials, and like the likes of Jack Ma's kids that got all the best jobs or all the best places. So he's like, why should I work? I don't care. Like, I'm just going to lie flat.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And if that youth decides to protest in this way, it have an incredible impact. Now combine that with Bitcoin, which is unconfiscatable.
It's unconfiscatable. That generation, these older generations of fiat cantillionaires, they've been sacrificing all the generation, anybody essentially the further away from the Fed, whether it's the New York Fed or the Dallas Fed or San Francisco, like the further you are away from a Fed office, like the further you are away from the Cantillon effect. And they've been sacrificing everybody else outside their blast zone. And now it's time for us. We have the volcano now. We are the ones that are going to sacrifice you. You must pay for your sins.
Right. It's the reign of terror, but done with in a peaceful way with Bitcoin. Right.
Yep.
So the Jacobite uprising and the French Revolution gave us the reign of terror, and approximately 35 or 40,000 aristocrats in Paris were beheaded with using the absolute brand new technology of that day, the guillotine.
Yep.
And as a result, a lot of the bad blood was gotten rid of, and the country thrived as a result. So here we have we have an aristocratic glut. We have an elite glut, a glut of elites.
Yep. Surplus elite.
In the old days, they would all be lined up and disposed of. But we got a better way. It's called Bitcoin. And everybody who's on the Bitcoin bandwagon is going to see their consciousness and wealth expand, whereas everybody on the fiat standard is going to shrink like a raisin until they're dust and blow away, and as Satoshi wanted it to be.
Somebody points out that it's hard to compete with bed. Like, a lot of young people like to stay in bed, right? They don't like to get out of bed.
Well, it's a bed in. It's like John and Yoko in Amsterdam. They had a bed in, right? So they were in bed. They weren't getting out of bed, but it was a protest, and it was still work.
This is a protest.
Yeah, it's a protest bed in that John and Yoko, they kind of invented the bed in. And so now they're trying all over China. So they're going to start singing Imagine and grow their hair like John Lennon. And they're already Asian, so they kind of fit the Yoko thing.
That's right.
Right.
Well, we should do a lie-in for one episode of this Orange Pill podcast. I also want to say the other thing is with El Salvador, everybody's pointing out how violent it is. It does have the highest rate of homicides in the world. You notice that, like, basically anywhere just outside that blast zone of American cantillionaire effect, everywhere in America's backyard, while we're busy on our cable news and our Washington Post and our New York Times starts pointing fingers at everybody else, how bad and evil they are.
Right.
Like, look in your own backyard. Not only do you have a humanitarian disaster in San Francisco and Los Angeles with people pooping on the streets and living on the streets, but you have the humanitarian disasters of all those states you control, those states that are puppets of you, that are narco states, partly because your own population is in such huge, deep, untouchable despair. Like, they're in so much despair, they need so many drugs to numb the pain of their existence, right? Their meaninglessness of their existence. So you have the drugs trade. Obviously, a lot of our dark budget comes out of there, the black ops. So they keep that going. The MS-13, I was going to say the MSNBC.
Yeah, Rachel Maddow's in MS-13 right now. She joined up last night. She's on a motorcycle somewhere.
MS-13 is exclusively because of California. So California is a prison industrial complex state. It has one of the biggest prison systems. It's overcrowded. Even the Supreme Court ruled that it was so overcrowded that it was a humanitarian disaster. but they love all that taxes, the tax money coming in, and the prison unions are really, really powerful in California and give a lot of money to the woke, politicians who like berate everybody for being a white supremacist, but then they incarcerate hundreds of thousands of people, mostly Black or Latino.
Yeah, that's an apartheid state.
So the MS-13 were manufactured in California in the prison system. So they were El Salvadoran youth. Like where I lived on Rampart in Wilshire, like south of Wilshire, were the Crips and the Blood. And then you had the El Salvadoran youth gang up just above it. And I think they partly became MS-13. So, they used to be youth, like young kids. And then they get sent to prison for a gun crime or something. Then they form gangs in there because, the way the U.S. prison industrial state works is you get raped and all that sort of stuff in prison. That's part of your sentence, no matter how, like, even if it's like for, stealing a slice of pizza, rape is part of the sentence. So, you have to form gangs, right? You have to be in a gang to have everybody help each other and knife the other side and whatever. So then because they've committed a crime, then these kids, once they finish their sentence, they get deported back to El Salvador. So the gangs which were formed in California, we created that situation of this bloated Cantillon effect prison system. If we had a hard money, there's no way on earth anybody would want to pay from your taxes to incarcerate kids who steal a slice of pizza, right?
Yeah, it's like Apple computer products, right? They're built in China but designed in California. Similar with MS-13. It's lives in El Salvador, but it was designed in the California penal system. And the thing is, like, okay, these violent statistics, I'm willing to guess, having not seen any numbers, but I'm willing to guess that on a per capita basis, if you take the metro region of Chicago and lay it over El Salvador, Chicago's probably got more violent and more guns and more violent gun deaths. Just to give you an idea there of how I'm sure that's the case. I'm curious what it is for real. And second of all, you don't change Bitcoin. Bitcoin changes you. So even if you're someone like a shitcoiner, if you see the light of Satoshi, you can see the light and move toward the light. Even if you're a gangbanger and, you're in a violent gang, once you have Bitcoin in your spirit, you can see the light and move toward hard money. So it does similar to what Jesus did, but on steroids. Imagine Jesus on steroids.
Well, because that's the thing. Okay, I was just talking about the lie flat movement. So the lie flat movement in China are kids exclusively in the middle class. So their parents can afford to pay their rent for them and feed them. But they're not, the system is rigged against them to even move up. So they have those ideas that, they have desires to live an Instagram life and travel and do things and work their way up, but it's not available because of the elite that control that system. We have their own elite who control the avenues of elevating yourself higher, like to get the 3% tax rate,
right?
Like George Soros. Or Michael Bloomberg was the one that paid just 3%. Yep. So the only way you could do that is, it's an exclusive group of a couple hundred people that get that. So, this lie flat movement is like the Atlas Shrugged, right? These are like, well, no matter how hard I work, I won't be able to get ahead. So why don't I just do as little work as possible, the French way, right? Let's just do as little as possible and be a sponge on the state rather than feed it.
I'm surprised this lie flat movement didn't happen in Sweden, the home of IKEA. That would make more sense. You just lie flat, and you ship yourself to different parts, and it's cheaper that way.
But especially maybe that will change now, but the U.S. gang thing is a kind of lie flat movement as well, because they're cut out through systemic nature of the financial system, the redlining and things like that, and the schools that they get, the worst schools, the worst education. It's hard to escape the Bantustans that they're put into, essentially. So you might as well go ultra violent, right? Because you might as well just get what you can while you can, because what else is there for you? Cleaning bathrooms at McDonald's?
Yeah. The fiat money system creates this prison system.
Yes.
And the prison system in America has more than 2 million. It's in nominal terms, I believe it's the largest prison population in the world. And as you point out, in America, it's not like Denmark, where if you go to prison, it's like the Holiday Inn, and you get 3 square meals a day, and somebody gives you a back massage at noon. That's not the way it is in America. You get gang raped regularly, and that's an accepted fact.
Yeah.
And so also the largest population victim of rape in the world are American prisoners. And so it's part of the prison industrial complex. And as you point out, the municipalities are funded by the prisons, who say, look, tell your cops to go arrest people and put those people, even if they're innocent, put them in our prison so that we're a publicly listed prison, and we can make our executives make millions of dollars on all this. But you have to, and you won't have to spend a municipal penny on it. And you can pay yourself a huge municipal salary without having to operate a prison for the municipality, and give yourself a huge retirement bonus. Give it to us to do. Just all you have to do is guarantee you keep us at 98% occupancy, and go out there and arrest people. We don't care if they're innocent or guilty. We don't care. We just need to fill the prison so that we get our quota and we get our executive pay. All right. So you do that long enough, hard enough, and you create a gang like MSNBC, which is the worst gang in America. It's made up
the
of
most violence, right?
Recidivist, violent financial terrorists would be on CNBC and MSNBC.
Remember when they silenced Phil Donahue?
Phil Donahue, got taken out back and whacked
because of his anti-war speech about invasion of Iraq.
Double tap to the back of the head for Phil.
They push all the wars.
What about that other guy? He used to always, talk about, I see him on Jimmy Dore every once in a while now. He was a guy who spoke truth to power. They axed him, took him out back, whacked him. Yeah, I'll think of his name.
Well, so that's MSNBC. They're hardened criminals, right? They push us into war. They start gang wars with other, with oil-rich nations, and it's all about controlling territory. They don't want those oil fields in Iraq to go to China, and blah blah blah. So it's like it's all one big racket,
Brought
and that's
to you by
what I'm
defense contractors.
But relentless optimism of Bitcoin is because all of that, we found a way to circumvent the state, separate state from money. They can't print it. They can't create their smug quintillionaire class, that smug industrial complex pushing the prison industrial complex, the military industrial complex, the pharmaceutical industrial complex upon us. Like, we don't need them anymore. And we can say,
I wonder what Guillermo has to say about the news.
Guillermo is going to be super excited. See, he's a hard banking, he's a hard money bank, central banker. That's why he doesn't ever have to work. He just plays his little fiddle all day.
I play my guitar. I love life. My name is Guillermo.
Guillermo, what do you think about this? President of El Salvador has now gone full Bitcoin standard. Nayib.
Oh, he's a very nice man. I love El Salvador. And now that they've gone full Bitcoin standard, I'm thinking about returning to my lovely, lovely Latin America. Ah, la, 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 la. I am Guillermo.
Ask Guillermo a question.
Stacy?
¿Qué tal, Guillermo?
I don't know that song. Can you hum a few bars? And I'll fake it.
El Señor Don Gato was a cat.
I know only one song that I like to play. It is from Gato Barbieri. It is called Europa. Yeah! Gato Barbieri is my favorite. He plays the saxophone. Did you ever see that movie with Marlon Brando about Paris? You know the one. I Love You in Paris? No. They all love in Paris with Marlon and Brando. Last Tango in Paris. Paris, Stacy. Have you seen it? They had a lovely, lovely time there with Gato Barbieri who played the soundtrack. It's beautiful.
It's like Clockwork Orange, really. I mean, this is the Bitcoin is the peaceful version of a Clockwork Orange. A Clockwork Orange is like the twisted fiat fantasies, which were reality for most people. Now we have a Clockwork Orange Bitcoin, and it was showing that it's peaceful. You don't need to, you don't need the droogs. You don't need to kick people in the nuts.
It's a Clockwork Orange Bitcoin.
It's a Clockwork Orange Bitcoin. This is
it's a non-violent.
It's clockwork, like clockwork.
Click, tick-tock, new block.
Tick-tock, new block.
Tick-tock,
new halving. Tick-tock, hyper Bitcoinization. It's going to knock down one state at a time.
New block. Tick-tock, new block. Still trying to get this block machine working.
Yeah, well, that guy MVK did not show up. He was afraid. We brought that thing to Miami.
He didn't leave Canada. No, how come Francis Pulio got there, but NVK was back, char grilling his bear meat on the open flames, shit posting on Twitter. How come I didn't see him in Miami?
MVK must be a cuck. That's the only thing I can say.
He eats bear cuck.
He eats bear cuck
up there in what is it, British Columbia, out there in the woods, somewhere deep in the woods.
He softened up. Like, he came from Brazil, went to Canada, became soft,
socialist,
soft. Francis went the other way. He went to the jungle.
Yeah. Francis lives in the jungle. He wrestles snakes for that's how, and leopards. That's how every night he's out there with a leopard wrestling it, and then he skins it. Fries it, eats it. He lives off the land. That's Francis Pulio, which means chicken in French.
He's actually says he's heading down to the jungle near Bitcoin Beach in El Salvador, and he's going to look for himself. He's going to report to the people what he sees. He's going to video, tape stuff. He's going to live stream from there.
That's the way it should be. NVK is going to be roasting his bear meat on his condo somewhere in Toronto, watching some Canadian hockey team lose the Stanley Cup again with those lettuce hands.
Lettuce hands.
I'm going to make my calculators. No one will guess this calculator-looking thing is actually a wallet with tons of Bitcoin on it. Nobody will guess that. And not that it's been on the internet, broadcast 24/7. The cold card, I'm fooled. Oh, it's a calculator. I would never guess. So people want... We call that OPSEC? That's not OPSEC.
People want some Stacy Pink hair. There's 1,200 people here on the stream, and we're at 487 likes. Once we get to 600, I will go put some pink in my hair.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Live on the show, or do you have to go to a special area for that?
Oh, well,
you have to wear a smock. I saw the pleb dinner in Miami with the Tahinis guy, Ali, and they're all wearing lobster bibs.
Man, we missed that.
I was envious of that.
We're not plebs.
Nothing like a nice lobster bib. They must have been having some nice lobster.
We got put in a list I saw on Twitter where they were like,
it's called the FBI's Most Wanted.
No, they were like, here's the plebs to follow.
Yeah.
And they put Max and Stacy Orangeville podcast, but wrote in parentheses afterward, they're not really plebs though.
Yeah. We play plebs on Twitter.
Hey, I'm wearing my pajamas right now.
Again?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Well, usually I put on normal pants for television.
Are those pajamas? I thought I've seen you wear those.
We never
day to day.
Yeah,
They're pretty formal wearing pajamas. How come all your nightwear is like other people's formal wear? Like you wear gowns and formal, dress, these types of pants. I don't get it. Most people dress down in their pajamas. You seem to go the other way. You go formal.
Okay, so we hit the 550. You're gonna have to sit here for maybe 20 seconds. I'll have to do it in the bathroom because the thing is, it sprays everywhere.
And these are my. I'll
Max
get them
can show off his grenade.
These are my cloak. What is it called? Cloak. I can't remember what was it? Cloak something. So You can get these. These are 3D printed grenades, Bitcoin grenades that open up. You can store paper clips in there or some Simtex, I guess it's called, whatever that plastic explosive stuff is. If you're traveling through Belfast, you can Semtex. This could be handy. Here's another one, the green version. That's handy.
Look, I accidentally got my hand as well.
What the hell? Okay.
Max doesn't seem impressed with it.
No, that's great. I just don't want to get any on me. That's all.
No, it dries. But I was doing this. I had my hand up here, and
you were rushing through it.
So
well, it should come out eventually, right? Or the skin grows.
It'll come out.
I had one of my toenails fall out the other day, and it grew back after 3 or 4 months.
I look like a victim of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh no. Jesus.
I tell you, it's this is how it goes on at first, and then you have to kind of pull it through because It's like it's a just cheap CVS thing, right? And it's it goes a little bit overboard. It's just like there's no like soft, gentle spray to like just get.
Is it a spray or is it like a can of powder you just kind of dump it on?
It's spray. It's like.
Well, how do you get it on your fingers like that?
Because my hand was here.
Is there a nozzle or something?
There's a nozzle, but it goes like this. It's like a volcano.
Right. Well, okay.
So let's see what the people say. They might regret having. Oh my God! I look like a victim of something.
Well, it matches your shirt, just the pink.
That's right.
You've got a pink and white ensemble. You only have 3 colors, no more than 3 colors, so you're acceptable by the French.
Yellow calls me
Bitcoinella
DeVille.
Cruella DeVille.
Stacy's been stabbed. Punk rock. People are crying. Now Pink Max.
Look, we complained about the block clock, and somebody sent us a new block clock. That's this one with like digital stuff. We can't get this working either.
I haven't tried that one, but we will. That's
okay.
Pinky in the Brain, a spray-on headband. It does look like a headband.
Yeah, it's like Olivia Newton-John from 25 years ago.
Oh, man, I got pink everywhere. Looks sexy.
Yeah.
Looks good. Right. Well,
I saw Jane Fonda was in the news speaking about tight asses.
Honey, that was like 40 years ago.
Bonds of Steel?
Yeah, that was like 40 years ago.
Well, she was in the news. She was hugging a tree that they were trying to chop down or doing some environmental thing. That's so passe. You should just buy Bitcoin, Jane. Hanoi Jane. Buy Bitcoin, and that's the only protest you need to do. You don't need to chain yourself to a tree. Just buy Bitcoin, Jane. Jesus.
Stacy creating the volcano hair meme right here as we speak. Gonna be everywhere soon. Very nice. Warhol. We like it. Right.
Volcano hair.
No, well, the protests, I guess there's, what America does, like that. They're just like talk. They're talking about, social justice warrior stuff and how amazing they and their gang of MSNBC, the violent, ultra-violent gang of droogs, like they pretend like they're the best and they're the most woke of all people.
Right.
But, what are they doing? Like, first of all, America forced all the Native Americans onto these reservations.
Yeah.
And then they, like, every time there's a pipeline or something like that,
to break another treaty.
Yeah, they decide, we can't put it in that honky's backyard because their property prices will go down, especially if there's an oil spill. So why not put it through that reservation?
Right.
So, they do this every time. And then
pretty much.
That's why they shout really, really, really loud about how woke they are and how, all those other people out there, those people in Ohio and Iowa and Pennsylvania and the Rust Belt, they're white supremacists. And meanwhile, they are the ones that put the pipeline through other people's land without asking.
What about the Navajo motherfucker? That's what I say.
I like their language. They have a nice language.
That click language.
You see what I did for art? I have to put this up here for continuity, though, because that's like the continuity of the streak, right?
Yeah. That's very Richard Avedon, circa 1975. Those ads he did for like New York Magazine. What becomes a legend most? It's just like you have these poses, and then I think Madonna tried to copy that in the 1980s a little bit and became a poseur and strike a pose and that type of history of posing, which is now we have Kanye West, who's our only great poser.
Somebody said you seem to be on shrooms, and
Right,
that we
right.
have a all caps energy, or maybe it's me. I don't know.
I have more like busted cap in your ass energy.
What
That's
happened?
more like my energy.
That's
Where I'm
so
coming
weird.
from. Yeah,
If I put on these glasses, I can't see that red streak.
it could be the fingers of a gynecologist.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh, I see. It cuts out the
Put
red.
these glasses on.
Right now it
See?
looks normal, right? Yeah.
You can't see that pink.
Just like 3D glasses, but with 2D.
That is wild.
Yeah. It removes the third dimension.
Is my hair still pink?
No, it's green.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Wow.
Wow. This is so fun. There's going to be people complaining in the comments like Karens.
Yeah.
Cucky Karens. They're going to be
Cucky
like,
Karens.
again, the guy didn't tune in to hear this. And it's like, okay.
Really?
Unshakable optimism. Stacy equals Bowie. Stacy
That's right.
Stardust. Stacy Stardust.
Stacy
Yeah.
Stardust.
I love
Yeah,
David Bowie.
Yeah, Stacy Stardust.
Right. And so we covered that. We covered what's happening in El Salvador.
Yeah, we covered
We
it.
covered the cheap and clean volcano energy.
I'm bored with El Salvador already. Give me a new country.
I love the way he described it though. That he said cheap and clean volcano energy.
Cheap and clean volcano energy, just like King Kong or
Yeah.
Godzilla.
He's so Bitcoin, right? He didn't say like the posh sort of Icelandic socialist thing of like, we're going to use some geothermal energy. He's like,
Right.
it's volcano energy.
Cheap
Yeah.
and clean volcano energy from the balls of the Mother Earth's own testicles, exploding in a jism of free power that's going to make us all fucking rich down here, and you can all move here. Just give us 3 Bitcoin and you get permanent residency in El Salvador. I mean, that's better than any other deal available today, right? The Nevis St. Kitts deal cost $200,000 to $250,000. Dominica, which is nearby, cost over $100,000. The Golden Passport in Portugal, you got to buy a property for 200,000 or 300,000 euros. Here we got the president of El Salvador saying, "Give us 3 Bitcoin, and you'll get permanent residency right away."
Yeah.
And with Bitcoin down in these $30,000 prices, it might make sense to just pick up a residency for 3 Bitcoin now before the price goes up to $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. It's on sale right now.
Plus, you can get like MSNBC to be your private security.
Yeah, you can get Rachel Maddow to come down there and expose her badge anytime a terrorist shows
Jesus
up and
Christ.
scare the fuck out of them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think you went too far.
Yeah, sure. That's what I'm known for. Max Too Far Kaiser. If it's if they go low, I go lower. That's the way I roll. That's it. That's my thing.
Hey,
What?
who wants to smash buy with me?
Yeah, smash buy.
Holy shit! It's $36,191. Damn it! I thought it was like 32,000. What the fuck happened?
We're gonna see that again.
Jesus.
That all hit the way bottom. The whole thing is heading to 220,000 in 2021. Like I said, way back when, it's bouncing harder, much harder. It's all coming about, if you don't own any Bitcoin now, it's because you don't deserve to own any Bitcoin.
Right. So people are asking about that FBI thing.
What about it? Oh, they did that fake sting operation?
Well, I mean, it's a fake story with the mainstream media doing the whole, we're MSNBC. We only know how to start wars. We don't know how to analyze shit. And so the thing is, from what I've gathered, reading between the lines, reading some of the clips of the affidavit of the, indictment.
Yeah.
It sounds like, obviously you could trace where Bitcoin moves, right? And what happened there?
Oh, that's my phantasmagorical inner child manifesting itself in an out-of-body experience. I thought you knew that.
Oh my God.
I only
So
watch.
no, so no
Are you
people.
still saying something?
No, people want
Or
to
is
talk
that
about
my
the
cue?
FBI
I thought
FBI
that's what we were
Bitcoin thing.
talking about.
So the FBI Bitcoin
Yeah.
thing, and what happened is that they could follow Bitcoin as it's being sent, and that's why you always have those whale alerts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Colonial Pipeline sent 75 Bitcoin to the hackers.
Yeah.
What appears to have happened is that the hackers then gave 15% to the Russian ransomware creators. There's ransomware as a service.
Oh yeah, sure.
You
sure,
buy,
sure.
you have it specifically made for whatever target you're targeting.
Yeah.
And suggesting that there's probably somebody, like maybe a child or a cousin or a brother or family member, friend of somebody at Colonial that knew some sort of that they hadn't updated their Microsoft product line or something like that.
Right.
Somebody with some knowledge about Colonial, probably, I'm guessing, I could be totally wrong, but paid for this ransomware, targeted Colonial, got this. But you give a certain cut of your ransom win to the creators of the ransomware. The Russian dudes who took their Bitcoin, they clearly know how to, store their Bitcoin and their private keys.
Right.
These dorks who did hired the ransomware makers, they put they basically had, what happened in pre-2015 Bitcoin, and you heard of all those exchanges that got hacked, like Mt. Gox.
Yeah.
Well, they had their hot wallets on a server, like these people did.
Right.
So,
right.
It's a similar situation to that, where they just like had their Bitcoin taken.
Right. So this Colonial Pipeline, they already are outed themselves as not knowing how to handle software, not updating any of the security on their software. So the FBI did a search, and they said, "Hey, here's Colonial Pipeline. We're going to hack them."
Oh, you're doing the inside job, the FBI.
Well, it's
story?
pretty obvious. We're going to hack them, and we're going to fuck them up because they're leaving it so obvious that. So they get hacked, and then the FBI, as quote Russian, ransomware as a service people, stage this ransom, which is magically recovered within 2 or 3 days, and the FBI keeps their cut, just like they kept their cut on every single sting that they're involved with. And the mainstream media, the barking seals, I'm Rachel Maddow. They run this headline like Bitcoin's been hacked. Right. So then a lot of stupid people and newbies are like, oh my God, I got to sell my Bitcoin to Michael Saylor. And Michael Saylor's there with this big fishnet, like, sell me your Bitcoin, you people. And the cycle repeats over and over and over again for 10 years, 11 years. We've been watching this for 11 years. It's never different. The cycle is always the same. Every 6 months, there's a new crop of idiots who stumble into, like Elon Musk. He was in, he was out. Like Dave Portnoy, he was in, he was out, right? Who do you think buys all that cheap Bitcoin? It's the whales, and they stage whatever they need to stage to get cheap Bitcoin.
Right. Well, I mean, it would make sense because, like, look at every single domestic terrorism. Remember all those, it was mostly black guys that the FBI set up in stings, and they would find somebody who was like, had mental health issues, and they would convince them to try to blow up a, Sears Tower or something like that. And then,
right. That happened several times.
Look, we arrested the bad guys. It's like, no, you went to them, you concocted the scheme, you made up the story, you delivered all the so-called fake weapons.
Yeah.
Like, you're the one that did this.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, yeah, we still got the bad guy. They shouldn't have bought our story. But yeah, it could have been them on a forum board.
FBI fake story.
Yeah. Right.
But, MSNBC fell for it, or I don't want to say they fell for it. I mean, they read whatever you stick in their face. If you put a story in front of Rachel Maddow that said, that goldfish were fucking zebras on Fifth Avenue yesterday, she'd read it and be outraged and blame Trump.
Oh, my God. Is it true?
It doesn't matter what you stick in front of that babe's face. She'll read it and pull a face like she's outraged and blame Trump. That's it. That's all she does.
Yellow is shouting, breed love hacked on Twitter. Oh, no. Well, it happens to people. The shoelace bomber was the funniest.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy, the shoe bomber.
Yeah, he was like, again, mentally ill.
Right,
Like,
right.
right? He was not all quite there.
Right. You got to find the right mentally ill person that is that's mentally ill, but they can still kind of wrap their mind around a conspiracy theory and stuff some dynamite into their tennis sneaker, and then walk on an airplane. Right. So you got to find that. I mean, the FBI is
Yeah,
very good.
he was like,
Yeah, he's trying to light a cigarette with a sneaker, and that was
on the
tip
plane.
off. I mean, it goes back to Lee Harvey Oswald, right? He's a perfect guy. I mean, the U.S. intelligence is great at finding guys like this who are have the right mental mix of, you know, kind of smart but really stupid at the same time, who are paranoid, you know. So they are cutouts, right? And they engineer policy in this way. And when it works, you say, okay, America's great. I got cheap gas and high fructose corn syrup, and I weigh 400 pounds, and you pay for my medical care, and I love it. But when it doesn't work, then, you know, some gang that was birthed in a prison in California comes to your house, burns it down, and stabs your dog. You know, it doesn't work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. You know, it's a trade-off, comes and goes. Bitcoin fixes all this.
Why'd you speak like a Scottish person for a moment?
Wait a minute.
You said who's?
I go to my shortbread recipe from Glasgow, where I'll be like with George Galloway. Hello, I'm George Galloway, and I went to Tony Blair, and
they're rolling in the R's. He committed murder.
Yes, Tony Blair is a murder. Somebody sent a link yesterday to Making a Killing, the documentary about Tony Blair.
No, it's called The Killings of Tony Blair.
The Killings of Tony Blair. And I did not know that I'm actually an executive producer along with Abby Martin on that film. You know, in the end credits, executive producers, Max Kaiser, Abby Martin on The Killings of Tony Blair. It came out, I believe, in 2015 or 2016. But now that I just saw that, I do faintly remember raising some money for that film.
I was watching a film before we went on air. I was waiting to get to 3:00, and it was called A Baby Deer Calls a Logger Mom. And it's like 4 minutes long, and I watched it. And the baby deer didn't call him mom, but no. he was like chasing the logger and like licking him. But yeah. I was expecting it to say, Mom
on the phone? You meant calling literally on a phone?
No.
Bambi was on a cell phone calling a logger to make a reservation for a bear whale meat night at NVK's flat in Saskatchewan?
No, it was a logger driving, you know, with a huge truck with these huge logs on the back.
Yeah.
And he saw these 2 baby deer in the road.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's that season right now. It's June 1st. The first week of June is when all the babies are delivered.
The fawns.
Yeah, but like the fawn, you kind of think is like running around, but the babies, they can't stand up and walk so well. So their mom puts them on the ground and hides them somewhere. And they don't
smell either.
This mom hid them on the road, on this dirt road.
What a fucking idiot that mom.
That mom should have her kids taken from her.
Call social services and have her kids picked up immediately.
So the babies are just like looking at this logger coming at them. He's like, "Hello, how are you?
Right.
What are you doing here?" And the baby deer are just looking at it like, "What's your fucking problem, mate? I'm just like, I'm doing my lie flat movement here."
Right. And you know,
and my mom's going out and hunting some food for me.
Whenever you say that, like road trip and loggers, and I always think of those roadside motels that we stayed at when we were doing our cross country trip. And the thing about it is, I hadn't been in a roadside motel in a few years, but they've really upgraded their breakfast. Because you go down there now and you can make your own waffles, and you know that's a luxury. Make your own waffles. Some of these places had real maple syrup.
Are you sure you were allowed to do that, or did you just?
You mean I wasn't allowed to do it? I assumed, you know, I could make my own waffles. Maybe the guy in the white outfit and the hat, the toque, as it's called, he did give me a funny look. Maybe he's the waffle man.
Maybe he was a waffle man and didn't mind you doing the free work for him.
It's like, why is this honky making all these waffles?
But you brought that up because we did actually see real, you know, workers sort of people.
Real workers, yeah.
Yeah, they had loggers, oil field workers,
Yeah.
mud up to
They
here.
come in after working all day, like with dirt and mud, and they get into the hotel and they just want to get some sleep and then wake up for a bowl of waffles, a big plate of waffles.
Outside of this whole Bitcoin space and the coastal elite and all that stuff.
So
and
actual workers.
There's actual workers still working stuff.
Electrical lines and working on telephone poles and construction. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I've seen this in the movies, but I've never actually seen work like this being done by men out in the country. It's really was an eye-opener.
That's true. And they were very quiet. They didn't party at night, so that was good. And they woke up very early and left at 5, 6 in the morning.
Back to work. They're building the country.
They're building the country.
And they're underpaid. And I was happy to see it. And I was also happy to get back into the van and head over to a location where I stood in front of a camera and said some silly things. And that was my version of work.
Baby dare, don't swear like this.
No, they don't. Well, this little Bambi had a mouth like a sailor. I'm telling you. I don't know where she learned it, but she was cursing a blue streak. And even the truck driver was like, yo, Fawn, simmer down. Hold on.
Ask Max, though. I do look around. I've been looking for some of these baby deer. Their moms flatten them to the ground. So they're not seen, spotted by predators. But
I thought they were sizing them for a rug.
Oh, my God, honey.
That's not. Oh, something else going on?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know a lot about nature.
And you'll also, the moms, if you get too close to their babies, they'll do this like they'll sound like kind of like a horse. They do that. They sigh. They make really loud like snorting noises, or else they're just doing lines of coke. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, they would. I guess do whatever they can to fend off possible attackers.
Yeah.
To their little bite-sized fawn. They look like a lamb chop with the little fur.
Oh my God.
A furry little lamb chop by the side of the road.
Oh my God. So guess what? I was just starting the edit. We did a few interviews while we were in Miami at the Bitcoin Miami, the Bitcoin 2021.
Yeah.
And hey, I got a notification from Strike. Maybe somebody else
more cash
sent me some Satoshis.
More Bitcoin coming your way.
So, no, fuck all. Nobody sends me shit.
Cheap bastards.
So, the next one, I'll do the interview with John and Gabriel Shipton, who are...
Who are those people? Oh, I know who they are.
Julian Assange's dad and his half-brother.
Yes.
So we did an interview with them. We'll be posting that on Sunday.
It's coming up on Sunday? Yes, John Shipton. We interviewed him on...
I feel like an episode of The Muppets.
Sure. I'll put my hand up your felt orifice and talk like Jim Henson. That would make you really feel like The Muppets. Am I right?
Max always goes a few steps too far. That's
Max
my
too
Bush.
Far Kaiser.
Who killed Bambi? Hey, yeah, that was Ed Tudorpole. That was Ed Tudorpole saying that, and we knew him.
Yeah. I still got the T-shirt from that band, Ed Tudorpole band.
10-pole Tudor.
10-pole Tudor. I got the T-shirt. One of the first T-shirts I got when living in London.
Right. So we, Julian Assange's parents, dad and his brother. And we also did something with Ben of Bit Farms talking about, Bitcoin mining.
Oh, yeah.
That will be, I'll probably, because we did a few things, like I won't wait until every Sunday. I'll just we'll play the video during our next microdose on Wednesday.
Oh, right.
We did this special emergency volcanic system.
Yeah, because of the El Salvador news.
The El Salvador news. So I had not been anticipating this when I went to sleep last night. I didn't think we would be doing a microdose. And I did not drink the rum because apparently, today with this episode, because I already did it yesterday, and I was told it's for sipping. It's not for drinking.
Guzzling?
And
just for sipping?
I shouldn't have guzzled it.
Ooh.
So that's not, you don't drink it like a glass of iced tea.
You just sip it.
You're supposed to have like this.
Well, they say on the thing there, you put one ice cube and it releases the floral bouquet of Guatemala and you can taste the woodpeckers knocking on the trees and the butterflies flying in the air. And I thought about those cocktails with those huge single ice cubes in them, either square or big balls.
I like the big bald ones.
Yeah, big bald ice cube, a hairless ice cube, just sitting there in a tumbler, surrounded in a bath of high-end rum from Guatemala, soaking in the tubs, inhaling orchids in the mist while the monkeys are chattering. Kiki, 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 kiki. That's what the citadel of Bitcoin's all about in El Salvador. Where's El Paco?
El Paco's in the comments. I wanted to say, just so you know, I like my cocktails with big balls.
Yeah,
of
course. Of course you do.
I do.
Yeah, why not? If you can have big balls in your cocktails, why not? Cock and balls, they go together. Big cocktails, big balls. You put them together, you got a really nice drink. You got something to keep you amused.
It's kind of a deceit, like, really, because, the first time I ever received a cocktail with one of those big balls in it of ice, like, I was like, oh, this is so cool. I love this. Yeah. And then you realize it's just like all ice, no liquid.
You just paid like $47 for an ice cube.
Yeah, it's like there's a little bit of whatever around it.
Right.
It's like, and I paid it and I left. I was like, I think I've been conned.
Yeah, that's a total con. Who wants an ice ball that's 98% the size of the goblet, and they just put a little of that alcohol in surrounding it. That's a freaking ripoff, man. You could be buying Bitcoin.
It's a good way to start stacking sats, like start a big bald cocktail party sort of hour.
Yeah, and put all the proceeds into Bitcoin.
Yeah, just put a big ball of ice, like, and keep water's free. Just turn on the
Water
tap.
Water down the booze, put it on a big ball of ice. $47 for basically a cup of water, and then put that into your Bitcoin. That's how you get rich in this business.
Oh, yes. Oh, Jen, the bartender, the one.
Yeah. What'd she say about the big ball?
You remember yesterday she burned her bacon?
Yeah. She burned her bacon yesterday. Now she's into the big ice balls.
Yeah, now she loves big bald cocktails, too.
She like big bald cocktails?
Yeah, but she's saying that it has to be clear. They have to be clear.
Yeah, you need a special, the thing about to make the big ball ice cube is you start with boiling water. Then you put it into a mold, and then it freezes clear. Otherwise, you get cloudy balls, and that doesn't go with your cocktail.
Better than sweaty balls.
No, you don't want sweaty balls. You don't want cloudy balls. You don't want pancake batter balls like I see at the gym. These old guys, they're like 80 years old, and their balls are hanging down to their knees by a thread. And I'm like, that thing's going to snap off at any second, and I don't want to be here when it happens. It's like this pancake batter balls. It scares the shit out of me. I'm like, whoa. If that's what it's like in 30 years, fuck it. I'm not going to go there. I don't need my balls hanging down by a little thread down to my knees like that. I don't know how it happens. They're supposed to be up close, right? Why? I don't know. I don't want it. I don't need it.
I will take you to Dignitas if that happens to you.
I'll go to Dignitas gladly. If I get pancake batter balls, take me to Dignitas immediately. That little chocolate doodad they give you and this lights out. Me and my private keys are going to go to the Satoshi land. I don't need to be hanging around the gym with my pancake batter balls. That's not how I envision my exit from this plane of existence.
Right. Well, once again, somebody left a great comment on our
Finally, it's only been like 6 months. We finally got one good comment.
We finally got a good comment.
Hey, I'm shaking it. Whoa, we got an earthquake.
Don't do that. People get, epileptic fits.
Oh my God, it's shaking.
They might, or Los Angelinos might think.
I'm going to sell my Bitcoin. The screen shaked. I'm Dave Portnoy. I have lettuce hands.
Yeah, I'm looking for this comment somebody left.
Yeah.
And it's just, it felt about right to me, about like what our content is all about.
Really? Was it recent?
Yep. Here it is. I always think I'm going to learn a bit about Bitcoin.
And I'm shocked when I don't.
But then I realize it's stand-up comedy about rum and camembert.
Exactly.
And now you know everything you need to know about big bald cocktails and pancake batter balls.
Well, we are teaching people how to be good hodlers.
Yeah. Well, a lot of kids, all these young people, getting into Bitcoin, they need to know that when they get to 75, 80, 85 years old, they might end up with pancake batter balls, and they better start doing
Stack
something.
that now.
Stack sats
Enjoy
now.
life now, because when the pancake batter balls come, that's too late.
It's too late. They should know about this stuff before it happens.
Yeah, I haven't checked the price of Bitcoin since it was 100. So I don't know. It doesn't matter. The fiat money is collapsing. You got countries are now calling up Jack Mallers at 3 a.m. and saying, "Jack, hook me up." And he's like sitting in a hot tub, half naked, with a porn star. Like, say, "Hey, yeah, no problem. Send it in. Send in the order. Call in the strike." It's called strike because he's calling in airstrikes. He's got a whole militia now. He's got choppers, helicopters, missiles. He calls in strikes. He's like, "Oh, hey, Paraguay, what do you need? 50 billion at the market? Done. I'm Jack Mallers. I've got ice cube balls. I don't have pancake batter balls like that nut job Max. I'm fucking the king of the hill down here in Chicago where they have shitty pizza. All right, adios, click." That's the way it is. That's the way he rolls.
I just realized, though, like when we're thinking about what other sovereign nations might adopt Bitcoin or make it legal tender.
Yeah.
It could be breakaway republics, city-states in America, or states like Texas,
Yeah, some state, definitely. It could be, a couple of them are inching toward it. Wyoming, Texas.
Why are you talking like this?
I thought I'd give it another emphasize to what I'm saying. Texas, they could say, "Hey, we're going to go
I would do
the
Texas,
Bitcoin
like
way."
Texas is big.
The big Texas, they've already, in a couple of states, they legalized gold, right? That was a thing a couple of years ago, before Peter Schiff had that tragic accident. So why not Bitcoin? Why not Bitcoin? Why not Bitcoin?
That's right. I think it should be why not Bitcoin?
Why not Bitcoin?
This was us microdosing El Salvador's volcano energy, and I think we should all head down to Bitcoin Beach. And
yeah, where is that? Guatemala? Where is it? Is it in El Salvador? Oh,
yes.
Okay. Well, we got invited there.
We got invited to Bitcoin Beach.
Do I need a machine gun or anything like that, or a machete?
No, you just bring MSNBC with you.
Just bring my MSNBC and a couple of Bitcoin grenades, and I'll be fine in Bitcoin Beach.
Just bring a photo of Rachel Maddow.
That'll get me out of any situation.
Yeah. Say Rachel Maddow.
Yeah.
MSNBC.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, you're cool. Come on in. Sure, have a seat here."
She's genuinely violent. Unlike Nic Carter, who got smeared by her cohorts in the mainstream media.
Oh yeah.
As they called him the most violent man on earth. And look what happened. As soon as they called him the most violent man on earth.
Yeah.
Because it's a mind change. Like there's a shift in consciousness.
Yeah.
We're in Renaissance 2.0. And you merely elevated Nick with your smears of
Who's
fiat
this
consciousness.
Jessica porn star? Because she's with both Jack and Nick. Is she carrying one of their child? Jack or Nick's child? Jessica, the porn star.
Jessica Vaughn is like carrying her own like consciousness.
She's just carrying her own awareness and consciousness.
You're just jealous because she has a better ass than you do.
Well, I debate that. I debate that strenuously. But she was at the event. So was Paris Hilton.
I know, but they were like staying out late at night.
Right, they were out after 7 p.m. We were back at the hotel having dinner and then going to sleep.
With your pancake batter balls?
Well, yeah, every morning people are like, "That party was sick." And we're like, "What party?"
Yeah.
You're like, "Well, let's see. We were watching Tucker Carlson and then we fell asleep."
That's the lifestyles of the Bitcoin and Bitcoin.
Yeah, you want to be a Bitcoin OG. You got to get into that lifestyle of falling asleep early and waking up all cranky with the sciatica.
Well, with that, I think, did anybody like, I promise we won't talk anymore, but
Okay.
If we can do Swan Bitcoin, does anybody want to smash by with me at swanbitcoin.com/orange pill?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
I was a bit, it all went horribly wrong when I looked at the price. I thought it was only like, I thought I was still getting a discount.
No.
And
you blew it.
now it's up another $100. Like we should have just
It's
smashed
skyrocketing.
bought when I had the opportunity.
If you had dollar cost averaging, you would just be buying without even thinking about it.
I do that too, but it's not
I
enough.
realize I only follow 2 people on Twitter now: Nic Carter and Jameson Lomp. If there's a security, like today, there was that FUD about the wallet and the FBI.
Yeah.
You just go to Jameson Lomp and he's like, "Okay, here's the FUD. Here's whether they got their head up their ass." The end.
Okay. Go smash by. Come on, people.
Come on, people now.
Come on.
Smash by your Bitcoin. Everybody got a smash by. Gonna get sovereign individuality. Yeah,
Yay,
yeah.
the balloons are there.
This is the age of Aquarius. Aquarius.
Yeah, everybody's out of fiat. That is a problem. Like,
Yeah.
I was like smash buying all-time highs, and
I had knocked over a gas station last week just to get more fiat.
is that what happened to all the like? There was no gasoline there. Like, you must
Yeah.
have had a hard time even
I
getting
didn't get anything. You know, they said we're out of gas, and I stole a couple of Snickers bars, and that was it.
Right. Well, okay. This was fun. I'm glad that, you know, the volcano has erupted. I'm glad we have a new meme. I'm glad that you know, we have each other, we have our pink hair, and we have Renaissance 2.0.
Well said. Well said. Until next time. Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all.